Welcome to Long Beach Local News. I'm Melissa McGinnis. We're in the studio today. We have a very special guest joining us, Stephen Downing. Stephen is a retired LAPD Deputy Chief of Police and also an occasional columnist at the Beachcomber. And I'm just going to have to say it again, an all-around badass. It's so great to see you.
I'm good.
Good. Well, nice to have you here. We're here to talk about the Chief of Police, Long Beach Chief of Police, announced last Tuesday at a City Hall meeting that was City Chambers, City Council.
City Council?
City Council meeting, that there was no room in the budget for police body cams. And that just raised a lot of questions for me personally. And I know, Stephen, you're obviously well-versed in the police world. I wanted to bring you on and really talk about, first, how important are body cameras for a police force?
I think they are the trend in law enforcement today, and they're proven. They're still working out policies on how to deal with what is captured on the body cameras, but it's proven that lawsuits are reduced. It's proven that complaints against police officers are reduced. It's proven that officer safety is enhanced. And most of all, it's brought a greater level of trust between the communities and the police officers in those departments that have them. When I saw the chief actually defending the absence of cameras from the mayor's budget, he said that they were very, very, very expensive. And I recalled that the city of Fontana had just announced the acquisition of body cameras through a Menlo Park organization called Vision Labs. So I researched Fontana, and I looked on the web at their video. The mayor, the chief of police, the technology people, they were all over the moon with this technology that Vision Labs had, which is, it's not a hardware company, it's a software company. And it puts everything on a government secure cloud. Their equipment replaces audio, video, stills. Their equipment works for crime scene investigations. And their equipment is auto-uploaded to the cloud in 15 seconds. Multiple cameras can be played back in sync at the same time. It has a GPS capability. As the officer's outside his car, it can find him and lost, which is very important. I've been through situations where officers were kidnapped. And it can be turned on remotely from headquarters or from dispatch if the officer is unable to turn it on himself. And when the officer contacts a citizen who's a little bit aggravated, he can go like this, and a little voice will say, "We are now being recorded." You can't imagine how quickly that settles a situation down.
Oh, I'm sure. I bet it does. You hit on a couple of things there. One, building the trust of the community. I mean, how important is it for us here in Long Beach to get to know our officers a little bit better, to have a healthy relationship with them and healthy interactions, and really feel that we have a trust with them? I mean, I would think personally, from my perspective as a citizen, that a body camera would be important to me because it creates, like we're saying, trust and also truth.
That's right. If you're stopped for an enforcement reason and the body camera is going on, you know that what you say is recorded, and it's going to be recorded accurately. And the officer knows that what you say is recorded and is going to be recorded accurately. So there's trust on both sides that nobody's going to fudge. Nobody's going to fudge. Nobody's going to make things up. Nobody's going to make allegations that don't exist. Nobody's going to testify to something that didn't happen. And right there, a better trust is built with the community, and I think a greater level of comfort between police-citizen contact exists.
And on both sides, for the individual the citizen, but also the police officer, because like you said, if someone's going a little aggravated, once that little voice comes on, you're being recorded, I would definitely think that would settle any kind of thing that's escalating.
Of course, because you're going to immediately know that, uh-oh, I'm subject to being recorded here, visually and audio recorded, and it's going to be a record, and it can be played back at any time. That's going to go through your mind in a half a second. And you're going to calm down. You're going to conduct yourself as you would like to be seen in 10 minutes and in 10 days.
To me, that sounds like a no-brainer just for those reasons alone. But let's talk about us being a really tech-forward city. I mean, wouldn't you think that we would involve that type of technology for our police force?
I read every day how Long Beach is always bragging in their press releases that they're such a technically advanced city, and they're always getting new computer-based programming and data analysis and all that. Well, there's just nothing more important than this. And the cost of this program, I reached out to Vision Labs to ask them, and they laid out all this technology. They said they have never had a complaint about their technology, and they said it could be in place for the first year for 500 police officers in Long Beach for $410,000. The second year, with all the equipment in place and all the training in place, it would cost $360,000 per year.
So the first year, there's a slightly higher investment because you have the training and the initial devices, and then the second year, the cost goes down considerably. So $360,000 a year. To me, with just such a large city, I mean, we do have a large budget. We have $2.6 billion budget. I cannot imagine that we would not be able to find $400,000 initially in the budget for 2018.
Listen, if they had this camera equipment, they would save 10 times that much in lawsuits.
Absolutely. Well, that begs the question for me. Where is the $2.6 billion going that's allocated for 2018? If you haven't taken a look at the proposed budget, you can do so. You can download your own copy. This is the community review brochure. It's at longbeach.gov, and you can certainly download your copy. And I would think that everybody in Long Beach should have a copy of this and go through these line items, because it's really fascinating. Just going through, I mean, there's a lot of money going to park improvements, playground equipment, and the thing that just sticks out the most, and I know it's very controversial to talk about this right now, but are these bike lanes. There's just $20 million dedicated to bike lanes, and I'd like to say that it's nothing that I'm not opposed to having bike lanes, and I'm not opposed to having playground equipment and new parks, things like that.
Take $1 million from the bike lanes this year.
Just one little bike lane.
And throw it into body cameras.
One little bike lane, $20 million. It's a lot going to bike lanes in 2018, and I think that that's a wonderful thing. And of course, I'm sure everybody in the city wants bike lanes and new equipment for our parks. But are we in that place to do that now in 2018? Is that the right time to be spending that much money? When, I'd like to point this out, it's really discussed, page 1, public safety is Long Beach's highest priority. So if Long Beach, the highest priority is public safety, I would think that this budget would reflect that. And to my kind of first glance, it kind of doesn't reflect that.
It's smoke and mirrors. But let me say this. There could be hope on the horizon, because in the budget meeting that the chief tried to defend the mayor's exclusion of body cameras, or that he didn't ask for it, which would surprise me. The chair of the Public Safety Committee, Susie Price, and the chair of the Budget Committee, Stacy Mungo, both objected. And when I heard about this and got more facts from Fontana and got more facts from Vision Labs, I sent those facts to both Councilwoman Price and Councilwoman Mungo. And I hope that they take those facts and this very low cost of $410,000 for the first year, and see that the city implements a body camera program of this sophistication and effectiveness.
So there is hope on the horizon. Let's continue to support Mungo and Price in their endeavor to promote this safety initiative. Would we be, we're one of the largest cities in California. Are we going to be the only city that doesn't have a body cam? I mean, do you know? Is this so archaic that we're so far behind times?
I really don't know which cities don't have it. I know that Los Angeles has it very wide. I know that the sheriffs are struggling through it. Small towns like Rialto that started this thing probably 5 years ago now and experienced the huge reduction in use of force and officer complaints. It's spreading. It's big. There are many policies written across the country, and if Long Beach likes to portray themselves as a progressive city, then they need to bring their police department in from the dark ages and provide them with the kind of technology that is current and contemporary and progressive in this society today.
That's right. And like you said, the press releases coming out are saying that we are a tech-forward city, so let's hope that they go back to the drawing board on this one. We'd love to see these body cams implemented. So stay tuned to Long Beach Local News for updates on this story as well as other news. And thank you very much for visiting with us today.
You're welcome. My pleasure.